Is it Filipinos or
Yes.
it's all over the
Yeah,
world?
hello, people in the accounting world. Good morning in America. Good evening in the Philippines, my friends in the Philippines. This is Joe DeCharis, CPA extraordinaire, coming to you live from downtown Los Lunas, New Mexico this week. That's right, folks. I am visiting my mom. If you know anything about me, my mom owns a company called Suzuki, and I am in the Suzuki warehouse right now. So that's what, if you're wondering what all these bins are behind me, this is mom's. This is where the magic happens. So go to Suzuki.com and check out some really cool handmade stuff made by mom with love. And today, folks, we have a very special guest, this lovely woman sitting on my right or on my left, depending on which side of the room you're on. Uh, she is actually one of only 20 folks out of 68,000. Think of that. 68,000 enrolled agents, and there's only 20 in the Philippines. And we found Janine. Okay, uh, she is a diamond in the rough. Uh, I have never spoken to Janine, so this is the first time we're chatting. It's really exciting for me because if you know what we are doing here at Bedrock, is our mission right now. One of our missions is to train thousands of Philippine accountants and bookkeepers how to become an enrolled agent. Now, if you don't know what an enrolled agent is, it is the highest certification that the Internal Revenue Service awards people, and it's not easy. You have to pass a very hard, three parts of a very hard exam. Okay, you got to pass a suitability test. There's a whole bunch of hoops you got to jump through. Now, what's interesting is I only found out that you could become an enrolled agent. Let me back up a second. One of our first students last year asked me if you have to be a U.S. citizen to become an enrolled agent, and nobody had ever asked me that before. So you know, honestly, I assumed that, yeah, you had to be a U.S. citizen. Well, I don't take anything for granted, so we looked it up, and it turns out you do not have to be a U.S. citizen. In fact, you don't even ever have to come to the United States. So you could be a foreigner, okay, and become an enrolled agent. And what that does, what becoming an enrolled agent, it's a very special designation that we're the IRS, the world's biggest collection agency. Okay, the IRS that administers over 30 million businesses in the United States, that processes over 250 million tax returns a year. Okay, an enrolled agent can deal directly with the Internal Revenue Service on behalf of their clients. Now, what does that mean? That means you got over 30 million businesses, 250 million tax returns that are being processed. A lot of them are incorrect. A lot of them are filed late. And bottom line, people run into problems. They run into tax problems. And they need either an attorney, a CPA, or an enrolled agent to deal with the IRS directly. Once an enrolled agent submits a power of attorney on behalf of their clients, the IRS is not even supposed to contact the client. Okay, they will send correspondence, but the point of contact is that enrolled agent. So it's like it's a barrier. It's we enrolled agents protect people. Okay, they solve big problems, and when you solve big problems, you can make big money. Okay, so if you're out there trying to start a career, trying to up your game, you want to make big money, you want to take control of your career, your finances, you want to become an enrolled agent. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce Janine. I am really interested in hearing uh, about her journey. So, hi, Janine. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Joe. So thanks for having me today. And I'm Janine Escala. I'm a Filipino staying in the Philippines, and I just recently passed the enrolled agent. But actually, it was October 2022. I was officially an enrolled agent by that time. It's just that I just know it via my mailbox by December. So it's just a little bit late, but no worries. And a little bit about me. I'm a tax accountant. I've been in the industry for less than 8 years. So I started doing Philippine tax accounting for the first 3 years of my career, then transitioned to Canadian tax accounting. Then eventually, doing that, there are some scenarios wherein I have to deal with tax forms, U.S. tax forms, and that's when I just got curious on, you know, self-studying how U.S. tax works, and it's kind of bit relevant with how Canadian tax works. And then I'm just trying to find out how I can help more my clients. So I just realized maybe transitioning to U.S. tax is way better. Actually, I find out about enrolled agent through a by accident through an interview. That's why I get curious, and then try to plan out how I can become an enrolled agent by 2022. I make sure that I have a certain date that I pass the exam.
Wow. Wow. I have so many questions. That's inspiring. So, first of all, let me tell you that I don't believe in accidents or coincidences. It's the journey you were on. You put yourself on it. You were taking the action. Okay, and it led you right here now to this interview, which hopefully will lead to inspiring thousands of Philippine, and you don't even have to be an accountant. You know, that was one of the questions in my live yesterday. You don't have to be an accountant to decide you want to become an enrolled agent. You don't need any kind of college degree. There's no requirements other than the fact that you can't be a criminal.
Yes.
Okay, and that's the suitability test. The IRS wants to know exactly who they're talking to. Okay, so you're just brand new. You're
Yeah.
brand new as an enrolled agent. So first, let's reverse engineer that. How does it feel? How did it feel to uh, get that certification?
It feels it's not the I think up to the moment right now, every time I see my name to the LinkedIn, that oh, there's another designation in my name, and it's not just a Philippine designation, it's international designation. That's something that I really look forward before. So it whenever I see my name, it's still not sinking
It's
to me, like, because it's kind of hard, I mean,
I
the investment of time, the discipline, and well, of course, the finances. It's not a joke. So it's really something that I pray for, I work for. So I'm really happy about it. Every time that I see my name in LinkedIn, there's an EA there.
Yeah, and I could relate to that, because for years I was working in the accounting industry. It took me 5 years to get my CPA license.
Hmm.
And I had to go through, a 4-year degree. I had to pass the test. And to be a CPA, you need 2 years of auditing experience. And that's where, so I wasn't doing a lot of auditing. So it took me 5 years to get 2 years of experience. So finally, when I got my certificate in 20, no, what am I saying? 20, it was 1988. That's how long ago it was. And you're bringing back memories because it was like I have my name on the certificate. I was like, what does this act? Because there's no like explosion. You don't have, it's not like New Year's Eve. It's just like now you have this paper, right? You
Yeah.
have this designation, but it's extremely powerful, and you're going to get to experience that when you start. And I don't. We'll get into where you are with your business right now, uh, but that's awesome. So, what are you working independently now, or do you actually have a position?
Oh, right now on my current setup. So when I get the enroll agent, I know because before getting the enroll agent, I'm a CPA in the Philippines. So I know I have to back it up. Aside from the designation, of course, I'm very thankful about it. It's just that I know I have to back it up as well with experience. So I right now I decided to join a firm to have full experience and like doing the real work before, because I don't want to put my clients in danger, because I know to myself, yes, I passed the exam, I know the foundations, but I need to be in the real world where there are real scenarios of taxpayers. So I want to be in that point right now. So I joined a firm wherein I do mostly business tax returns, 1065 partnerships and S corps. So that's my line of work right now, and I'm very happy about it because that that opportunity is not something that I chase. It actually something that I attract because I passed the enroll agent exam. And that's one of the things that I'm grateful for after passing the exam, because there are opportunities that really open, even if without me trying to knock on it, it's coming.
So this is, this is beautiful because this is what I've been trying to put out there. The laws of attraction. Uh, people chasing money. You can. It's like chasing a cat. It eventually comes to you if you put out uh, the right what am I looking for? The right energy out there, and you definitely have that. So is this your first tax season?
I know. So before I take the enroll agent exam, I already have an experience of preparing taxes. And what actually boosted me to really focus and really deal with the passing the enroll agent exam, because I was put in this scenario wherein I know I can do the the work. It's just that this certain prospective client doesn't, he or she, I won't drop what kind of they're looking for a certification, because the way I present myself, it can, they know they can, I can do it. It's just that with the fees that I'm asking for me, and without me having a certification, that's kind of a deal breaker for them. And then I find it like, you know what, maybe I really can do it. And maybe an EA would really just uh, can be an upgrade for me to show the world that, yeah, aside from the
So
experience, I have what it takes.
okay, so I don't want to miss any of these points that you're making to bring it out. I have so much respect for you right now because it's really the experience. And this is what I try to teach my students. Forget about the paper, the the certification, the designation is powerful because of the way other people view it. They're like, oh, because you could have had all the experience, you could have done all the same work, get all the same knowledge, and not pass the exam,
Yeah,
right? And you're still Janine, you're still the same person. But having that designation, it's just proof of the hard work and effort that you put in. But when you got that EA exam, all of a sudden your earning potential goes up.
yeah.
Okay. Now you said that how do you put it? It came to you. So is this something like did somebody reach out to you because you're an EA? or were you applying for jobs?
Actually, it's when I post the my certification officially. I know it's actually when I got the certificate from my mailbox that day I posted because it's just something that really I'm proud of. So I felt like, you know what, this is something that I need to post and share it. And because I think EA is not yet popular in the Philippines yet, so I think this is something that other accountants, bookkeepers, or anyone, any professionals in the accounting field can be can consider as a career booster. I would say. Sorry for the term, but that's how I that's how it helps me right now where I am. So after a few weeks posting that, just a simple post, just for me because I'm really grateful for what happened, and people are reaching out because oh, there's an EA. So opportunities for Filipinos for U.S. tax positions are not new, but it's really an edge if you are a CPA in US or an enrolled agent. It takes a lot of actually hard work to become a CPA in US. I try to consider it, but I think maybe it's practical and more aligned with where I am right now to become an EA. So that's when I
Yes.
proceed. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good point because yesterday on my live I pointed out that, CPAs are not necessarily tax experts. When you're a CPA, that gives you a license to put your name on a certified financial report. In other words, you could certify somebody else's financial statements. It doesn't mean that, and there's not a lot of tax. In fact, I don't even remember if there's any tax info on the CPA exam. But the enrolled agent is an expert. You see, when you see EA, you automatically can say they're an expert in taxation. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's all you studied was individual and business taxation. Not only that, but the third part of the exam is all about procedures and how you work with the IRS, right?
Yes.
Your code of ethics and all the taxpayer bill of rights and all of that stuff. So let's get into so I know you found out by accident, right? Just like me, we found out by accident that you can become an enrolled agent.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
That was in 20 let me see. That was in 2021. So I that
Oh my
was
God. Wait a second. You only found out like less than 2 years ago.
yeah, so I just got out of it was during pandemic still in the Philippines. I was like and
Well, it
it's been
was the pandemic here too.
yeah, yeah, that's true. All over the world actually. So that time I was really, pandemic really gives a lot of time for people, I think, to reflect on what they want in life. So I really want to pursue additional studies where I can be more than a CPA. I can be more a specific focus professional. I was thinking at the time if I can be a CFA or an MB managerial accountant, CMA, and then I was given the opportunity to be in that interview. They mentioned about enrolled agent, so I got curious. What is it? So is that something that is applicable with me? Because at the time I really want to be. I'm kind of frustrated lawyer a bit. So I really want tax rules. And since I'm already an accountant, I build a career as an accountant. I find it satisfying to do accounting and then apply taxation rules because it's it's something about law. It always updates, so I really like it. So that's where I can see myself doing over the next few years. So I think, and then I got research about enrolled agent, and then yeah, I think it fits with what I really want to be. So, and I'm into international taxes, so that's that's when I pursue it. 2021. So I researched back then I know how much it costs when it was conducted, because I also reached out to people in the Philippines who's already enrolled agent, and then they mentioned the time at with their experience, the test centers are conducted in the Philippines, in Makati specifically. But because of the pandemic, the centers in the Philippines for enrolled agent are closed. So I don't have any choice but to be in test centers abroad, and the closest one in Asia would be either India or Korea and Japan. And then due to some restrictions and visa, I think Korea is the best one. So that 2021, I start planning. When is the best time to take? Because I have clients as well. I need to manage the time. I have to manage the expenses. So 2021, I dedicated for planning, and then execute it in 2022. Yeah, that's how it
Sounds
works
pretty.
for me.
Sounds pretty simple. you know, but wow, what a journey. Yeah, I have so much respect for you, and I am so happy that we found you, because you're talking about exactly what I try to teach people. So let's go through the steps. So first, you find out. Now, also, this is during the pandemic. Like
Mm,
everything is closed down, and I
yes,
know that one of the obstacles that we have to overcome now in our journey is getting the test back to the Philippines. Okay,
true.
because it was there. And there is a big obstacle, because when people look at it, they're like, I have to spend, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah,
Okay,
it is.
first of all, it's like $250 just to register for the test. Even
Mhm.
if you don't pass,
True.
that's it. You pay again until you pass. You got to travel. You know, you got to get a hotel room. I mean,
Exactly.
it's a whole ordeal. And for a lot of people, that's it. Oh, there's an obstacle. How am I going to do that? I got to do. But you didn't let that stop you,
Yeah.
right? So you're an entrepreneur. Okay, you're like I could see the thing. It's like, okay, so 2021, you figure out what are the obstacles, right? You come up
Mm-hmm.
with a plan from your budget to time management, because this is another big thing. So
Mm-hmm.
now were you working full time?
That time I decided to be in freelance setup. I'm self-employed because I realized when I was working, I'm in a fixed shift. So some kind my energy, well, it's case to case basis. So for
Yeah,
people who's watching this, there are people who's really talented and managing their energy and their priorities. It's just how it works for me, that I want, if I put myself into something, I really want to focus it. So I'm like all or nothing kind of person somehow, and some points
yeah,
of my life, not in all perspective in my life, just on some points. So for
yeah,
that case, I think I need to control my time. So that's why I put myself to be self-employed when I take when I decided to take that journey of taking the enroll agent from planning stage to execution, because that way I can control my time. But again, some people, it works for them to take the to take an exam and still to be in a full-time work. It's all up to you guys. So that's just how it works for me. And then I take control of my time. So I know to myself, um, because you have to know what kind of a learner are you. Me, I really want to be in a continuous phase. Like I really want to study every day, at least an hour or at least one module for to prepare the exam. So when I do the preparation work in 2021, I do a timetable as well on when I should start the review, and that because on my case, it took 5 months, somehow 5 months when I take the review until the taking the exam. So because I want it to be the knowledge should be fresh. On my case, that's how I it works for me. I want it to be fresh. So I started May reviewing for June 2022. And then I take the exam in August 26th. There are three parts, remember? And I know to myself, I'm going to Korea. That's where I take my exam. I took my exam, sorry. I can't take the stress, the pressure of staying there for a week and taking three exams. So I know to myself, you know what? I need to come back to Korea and prepare because part 1 and part 2 is not a joke. The part 3 is something that, people can take care of. I know because most of the the exam takers, that's the first one that they easily pass. So of course I tried to research how does people who took the exams do it, what's the strategy. So but at the end of the day, it's up to you guys. But me, my strategy, I took first what's difficult because I want to release myself from that pressure. So I take individual, business, and like in order. But it's
Right.
because that's how it's for me, that's how difficult it is. I want the first one, the most difficult ones to be out of my plate. And
So
then
I want to bring. I love the fact that you keep bringing out. For me, because people do have different learning styles. They have different situations. Okay,
yes.
now you were in a position where you could choose to leave your full-time work and be a freelancer. Not everybody has
Mm.
that option. Uh, some people, are the breadwinners. They got to stay full-time, but that shouldn't stop you from doing this because the other part of this is so you looked at your personal situation and then you set out a time and a money budget.
Yeah.
That's so you got to do a self assessment and then
Yes.
determine practically, okay, how much time do I have? How much money do I need? And you lay out the plan.
Yeah.
You break it down into simple steps, correct?
Exactly.
So
So
you spent 5 months studying.
yes, but basically, I in 2021 when I'm already have a knowledge what is an EA. I already take like a basic taxation EA kind of thing review, but it's just for me to like a trial for me just to
What
see
was
it's.
that? One of the online courses that they have?
Yes, so it's an online course wherein it's but I was very lucky because I have the Black Friday discount sale the time. So it's a good time for me to take the trial. So because I know I cannot take the exam even if I review at 2021. I'm not ready to take the exam in 2022 because it will fall by busy season. It's not a good time for me because it's when I have a lot of work to do for my clients at the time. So it's not a good one. So I know to myself it's just a trial. I'm willing to invest on that part. It's just maybe it's around $300 at the time.
Right.
It, dreams comes with investment. Sometimes, well, it's lucky for you if it's free, but somehow at some maybe with my experience, sometimes you really have to invest for you to go to the point B where do you want to be. It's just that there are more ROI when you are in point B. So
Well, you got skin in the game.
yeah, you get scared, of course.
Not
But
scared, skin. You're invested. Now
yeah,
you put your money where your mouth is.
exactly. When you put something that kind of hurts you, well, specifically your packet, then you put more effort. You put your heart into it, and unlike someone just give you a free course because you know, okay, I can just set aside because it's free. There's something that I don't lose anything on this one. But when you know it took something from you, then you are really, you have that grit of, you know what, I have to take it back, something like that. You have that
Yeah,
kind
you
of
want to
thing.
get your return on your investment.
Yes, of
You
course.
said it.
Yeah, so that's how it works for me. Just for me to, because I don't want to be, I'm going to another country, that's for sure. So I don't want to be just put a risk that how it's gonna be. So I need a trial. That's how it works for me. Before
Yeah.
dipping myself in full to the water, I have to test, is it something that I think I can handle, I can commit with, because it's not a joke, you know. I mean, I'm
No, it's
studying.
not like you were going on vacation.
Yes, exactly. Because even you're there, there's a lot of good spots. It's not where your brain is. You can't like, you're guilty that, you know what, I have to, because I stayed there for at least, um on the first one I stay for 2 weeks. It's 10 days, so less than 2 weeks. But because I take two exams on August, and then I come back
Oh
for
wow! So the
October.
first time you took the individual and the business.
No, sorry. By the way, it's the way it works for me. It's individual and the part three, because I think part three is easy. But
Ah,
guys,
okay. Smart.
it's just a disclosure. But because I think it's easy, I just took the time to do a 2 weeks review. Not really a full, like 100% focus review on the part three. So I take it for granted. I
Okay.
failed for
Oh
part
wow.
three on August. So I passed part one. That's actually something that I'm like, oh, I'm free. So the next day is my part three exam. And I'm like, it's going to be easy. And it's really a bad attitude that, because it's still an exam.
You took it
So
for granted.
I take it for granted. I failed. So I put it, I scheduled that.
I don't like saying I failed. You didn't pass.
Yeah, I
You
didn't
didn't
pass.
pass that time.
Because actually, I just missed 1 point to pass part three.
Re-
It
really?
sucks.
Wait.
Sorry for
Okay.
the term.
Okay. So now you get. So how long does it take for the test results to come?
Ah, upon submission, it's just a few minutes. You will know when you pass or
Oh my
or
God.
not pass
Oh
the exam, and you will see if you pass. You don't need. There's no detail on the score. But if you did not pass, you will see the score and you will see what part of the exam you need to work on, or your
wow.
strength. So,
So
and I just won.
oh wow, that's helpful because what I teach people is you got to focus on the stuff that you're not strong on. You know, people
Yes.
are like, oh, let me stay because I know this. I'll just. But anyway, yeah, when you got to focus on the stuff you don't know, it's painful. You know, and
Yes.
we go through this all the time in our courses. You know, there is actual physical pain in your brain because when you're trying to absorb this new information, you're like, and I don't know the scientific term, but you're exercising your brain, and it's
Hmm.
just like if you're doing sit-ups or push-ups, you know that exercise is going to cause stress, and that's what the pain is. But it's good pain. It's
Yes.
good positive pain, right? So
Exactly.
I'm just wondering. So now you're taking the test, and now you're done. What do you remember what it felt like when you had to hit submit? Like, were you
Yes.
anxious? You're like, oh my God, because you still have a chance to go back, right?
Yeah.
You can go
So
back. So are you saying to yourself, should I push submit or should I go back?
actually, when you decided to click finish, there's no way going back.
Right.
So
So I'm just
like
saying. So
when you're on the, yeah, go
you
on.
push submit, and then what? You hold your breath.
I was like closing my eyes, literally, because it's gonna pop out already if you pass or not. So I was like, the exam is 4 hours, by the way. You were given 4 hours, but 30 minutes of it is just for orientation. 3.5 hours is for actually finishing the exam. So my strategy is always to um, set aside the 30 minutes for thinking if I should submit or should I go back. I mean, the 3 hours is that includes already me reviewing again all the questions, but the 30 minutes is for me to think if
Right.
I should, if I'm really sure that I'm really submitting this or not, because I don't have anything to review. It's just me preparing myself if I'm ready to reveal the score. So that's how it works for me. It's really thrilling because and exciting at the same time because you don't have to wait. You will know in that moment if you pass or not.
So you
Yeah.
push the button and you get pass.
Yes, I was like, I really, it's literally that's how it works. So,
It's
I can't, of
exhilarating.
course, I can't shout at the time because everyone is taking, at the test center, everyone's taking different tests. It's not just enrolled agent. So as you have to keep the emotions to yourself and still
Right.
be in at the right mind. So when I did not pass part three on that first travel, I was like, okay, because I know I have to condition my emotions because I still have part two. It's it's way harder. So I have to be in still in the game.
So, so you experienced the joy of,
Yeah,
oh my
yesterday I
God,
experienced
I
the joy
did
of
it.
passing it,
And
and then the
and then the
next day,
second one, you're like, oh my God. But you
yeah,
knew what you did. You took it for
yes,
granted. You didn't spend the
it's
time, not put the work.
I had the how do you call it? I'm I'm the reason.
The re- the
There's no
result.
one, there's no excuse. It's just you in the game, so it's not like fault, but it's you the
Well,
reason
now, yeah,
why.
and listen, I passed three. There's four parts of the CPA exam. I passed the first three parts the first time, and auditing. I said I do not like auditing. I didn't spend, just like you. I didn't spend enough time on it, and I didn't pass. And you know the way they score it usually, I think you needed a 65 to pass, and you don't
Mm,
fail with like a 63. They usually say, okay, he's on the borderline. They fine. Uh, so I didn't pass, but I'm trying to remember what. But I was all in already. I was like, okay, I just didn't pass that time. What do I got to do to pass the next time?
yeah,
Right. So
that's true.
I took it again and I passed. But you're just bringing back memories. Because it was sort of like surreal because at that time we take the test and you got to wait. Oh my God, I think it would have been better if I could have just said, did I pass or fail? Because you're saying, okay, because we put a lot of time and effort into this.
Yes,
Months,
exactly.
thousands of hours that I spent, thousands of practice questions and practice tests. And like I said, when I got that CPA certificate, and I still have it, not the original one, but I get a new one every 2 years. Uh, and I look at that, and I just, because that's years of hard work,
True.
determination, financial, what do you call it? Because you got to study. You can't make money while you're studying. And then
Yeah.
in the U.S. at that time, you get an accounting job, and they weren't paying well. it was all like, okay, I'm doing this for the future, for the future. But now, what I'm going to ask you a question because this is very important. And Hernan has a question. We're going to get to that
Mm-hmm.
about where the tests are. Uh, but did you put any indication that you were studying for for the enrolled agent exam in your profile? Like, did you let anybody know that you were studying for this?
Um, in my profile, no. It's more on whenever I go to client calls. I mentioned that yes, actually, I'm currently working on my enrolled agent exam. Like I'm really on the training, sorry, reviewing phase at the time. So that's how it. I did not post first if it's just me because I don't want to
Okay,
pressure myself. But
okay,
whenever I'm in client call, I mention it that you know
that's
what,
true. And what
yeah,
was their reaction?
their reaction, the clients, the
Yeah.
prospective clients, they are actually happy about it because you know, if you mention that, then that means it shows you are investing to your skills. The
Were they surprised?
sorry,
Were they surprised because you're in the Philippines?
yes, they are. Uh, they
Okay.
actually some of them not really aware of it, so it's kind of
I
new
don't
to
think
them. Oh,
anybody's aware of it.
yeah. So
I mean, I'm in this
so
business over 40 years and I never met anybody, I never met a foreigner that was an enrolled agent. I never even knew it was possible.
mm,
So, let me tell you what my strategy is, what I'm advising our students because we have I think 25 enrollees right now. Our course is going to start in May,
mm-hmm,
and I'm encouraging them all to put in their profile that they're studying for the enrolled agent exam. And
mm,
a few of them uh, did it, and they got almost like immediate positive responses because
mm,
it's just what you said. And I know because we hire people, and if I ever had a candidate that told me they were studying for the enrolled agent exam, they get a lot of points
mm,
because it's not the fact that they even have it. It's I look at it that they're trying, that they're
yes,
looking to improve themselves.
true.
Okay. And that scores a lot of points. So in my opinion, and it's not even an opinion, it's a fact because I've had students come back to me and said, "Oh my God, that it was just like you, that their clients, their prospects didn't even know it was possible." Okay. And so it is powerful. So, and if you think about it, and I don't know if this is, I shouldn't say this, but if you're just on the journey,
Mm,
you can benefit because number one, you're studying the content, right? If you're
yeah,
studying, you're learning the tax laws, you're picking it up, and that's how the laws of attraction work. You know,
true.
you're putting it out there. Listen, I want to do good. I want to help people, and then little by little things start happening. And just like with you, opportunities start popping up. Okay. Now, I just want to give people another perspective. I like to call it the perfect storm of opportunity. Because, like I mentioned, there's over 30 million U.S. businesses, and that just keeps going up. There's more and more people starting businesses. There's basically there's not enough tax preparers to handle all of the work. It's
Mm-hmm,
simple. There's I don't know how many CPAs there are and tax attorneys, but
mm-hmm,
like I said, not every CPA does tax returns. And not all the CPAs are really good at doing tax returns, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you why, because they didn't do what you said you needed, which is the experience. Okay, they learn the taxes from a book, and then they try to apply it, and it doesn't work the same way in the real world. Okay. Uh,
Sure.
anyway, so now I lost my train of thought on what I was talking about. But let's talk about this. So Hernan wants to know. He said, "I'm getting the point that the EA exam is done face to face in other countries and not here in the Philippines." Well, that's right and it's wrong, Hernan, because in the beginning of the interview, what did we talk about, Janine? The exam was in, what was it?
Before pandemic,
Yeah,
so before pandemic, there are test centers in the Philippines who cater enrolled agent exam, and that is specifically in Makati. So, but when pandemic came in, that test
they
center is not
closed.
available, and even as of the moment, I think it's not yet available. So you have to go. By the way, you will know which test centers are available for enrolled agent exam through Prometric website. So it's specifically mentioned there. If you are not taking the exam in US, you have these dates on other test centers located in different countries to take the exam. So, and when I took the exam, and even now, I think Philippines is not part of those available locations, unfortunately. Hopefully, when you guys took the exam, by the time it's the location here in the Philippines is open,
So
but as of the moment it's not yet.
this is what we found out because Luz, our accounting director, actually went to the test center
Mm,
because the test centers are still open. They're just not doing the enrolled agent exam. They do a lot
yes.
of other exams. So the test center is still there. So she went in and actually talked to them, and they said the only reason why they're not offering it is because the IRS hasn't given it to them.
Mm,
And my take on it is the IRS isn't giving it to them because there's no big demand for it. We only have
that's
20
why.
uh, Philippine enrolled agents, and now we know at least one of them didn't even take the exam in the Philippines. So what we're going to do, we're going to start a campaign. We're going to send out a questionnaire, so and then send it off to the Prometrics people and the IRS, and show them that there is a big demand. So I'm sure if they saw that, even they need to see that there's an interest.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not high on the IRS's list to say, oh, we need to get the test back to the Philippines. But if enough people talk about it, and we'll be relentless. Okay, I'm coming to the Philippines in May. I plan on going to the test center. I'll be there again in October. So, there's all ways that we can get it back to the Philippines, and that's one of my missions. Now, somebody, a Facebook user, has another question. How many months did you prepare for the exam, and how much did it well, I think you said it was $300 for the review materials, right?
Mm, the $300 that I
Yeah.
mentioned.
So this fit, and I'm sorry, but I don't see everybody's names
Uh,
on the. Yeah, the question is, how many months did you prepare for the exam? And other than the exam fees, how much did it cost you for the review material?
for the review and material, that's at the time I used the one that was suggested to me by my connections in LinkedIn. They are already enrolled agent and Filipinos as well. So that was $600 actually. And but for the aside, that's for review. So the exam, there are three parts exam. That's $203 per exam, and the you have the option to move the date of your exam, but it should be, and it's free when you move it, but it should be before at least 30 days before the exam. If you move it, if you feel to yourself that like you're not ready yet, you prepared for it, but you're not there yet.
Right. Or if something
I
comes
would
up,
say,
yeah.
yeah, something came up, and you feel to yourself you're not ready yet, and it already less than 30 days on your schedule date, that comes with a fee. So, and
Okay.
even if you don't attend your the schedule date, so it's non-refundable. So you really have to plan it, because
You have to be
the
committed.
yeah,
So the other
committed on
part of
it.
the question was, how long did you study?
I study 5 months. So the because by the way, I always make sure that I took the take for granted I take advantage of the Friday sale.
Yes.
So I had extra discount at the time, like 20% discount. So but that course, I did not take it um already by the time that I bought it. I just bought it because I know I will need it when I review. I bought it 2021. I know to myself I have to review consistently. And that consistency, I can make it by June only. So June onwards. So I have 5 months. I just you have to be strategic somehow, because finances is limited on my case. Not sure for everyone. So
Yeah. So
I took.
you bought. So I bought one part of, and I'll tell you what I bought. I bought Glime. I think they were one of the best. They've been around a long time. So I bought one of the parts. I bought the individual part just to see, what was in it, how they structured it. It's structured very well. Again, and you brought up, it depends on your learning style, but they have videos, they have practice tests, they have practice questions. So you
Mhm.
get all different methods of learning. So
Yeah.
I bought one part. I didn't do the Black Friday thing. It cost me $200. Uh, it's money well spent. Okay. So, but you spent 600. So I'm assuming you bought all three parts.
Yes, it's already bundle type,
Okay.
and it comes with that benefits of, in case I um did not yet pass the exams, I still have that
You could
access to
take it,
that review
right. You
material.
have lifetime
Yes.
access.
So
So
it's
my
like,
point is, you bought all three at once, and so
yes.
and that's a big investment. But you
Yes,
don't
big
have to do
chunk.
all three at once.
Yeah.
Okay. So you could do one at a time, but if you're not willing to invest some money, then I don't know what to tell you. This isn't for you, and that goes for everything, not just the enrolled agent exam.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get healthy, you're gonna have to, maybe you don't have to spend a lot of money, but you got to have some discipline, self control. You got to plan it out. Nothing happens overnight. So now your study habits, because, and this is what I've learned again, not just for this exam. This holds true for everything in life. It's our habits.
Mm.
It's what do you do when you get up until you go to sleep in the morning. You see the results. The results are a product of what we do on a daily basis, right? So you mentioned about studying at least an hour a day. Is that
Yes.
what you did?
Yes,
Okay.
because it makes, at the end of the day, for me, consistency is the best, because you discipline is very important. So it's like, initially, when you do exercise, you've mentioned it before. So when you do exercise, it's hard. You're not motivated because it's painful. It's unusual. That's
It's not
not part
part
of
of your
you.
routine. It's not
Yeah,
in
that's
your
but
right.
if you do it every day, at least 30 minutes, you have it as part of your schedule. Like, a part of your brain knows that, oh, this time is dedicated for this, because you
That's
kind of
it.
feel guilty to yourself, like, I think I'm missing something. I haven't done this, because you're doing it every day, so that's part of you already.
Yeah, it's like you can't go to sleep. You're like,
Yeah.
I didn't do something today, and it's like nagging at you. But the study has to be. It's like eating. It's like you wake up every day and you're like, you got to eat,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and that's what you got to make it part of your routine. And
Exactly.
then the good news and the bad news is that that actually never stops. In this business, you got to constantly keep educating yourself because you said it in the beginning. It's constantly changing.
Yes.
They pass new laws, and there's just too much to even study to begin with. I focus on the very, very small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, and what's been happening is we're getting all kinds of other stuff that I've never seen before. International businesses, foreigners that own U.S. companies, and I was like, oh my god! And for me, that makes it exciting, believe it or not, because I'm like, oh, here's another new thing that I have to study and
Yeah.
learn, and that's so it's rewarding. So listen, Janine, we've gone on almost an hour. I like to
Mm.
keep these to 20 to 30 minutes, but there's so much to cover.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is, and I totally forgot, if you're watching live, if you could put a hashtag live in here. If you haven't commented, and if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And I'll tell you that there's a good reason for that. If you have any questions for me or for Janine, you can if you're live, you can get them in now if you want to post a question. But if you're watching the replay, you could put a question in. And what I love about Facebook is if you put a question in, it'll come up on my feed. So we could get back to you with an answer, and that works. It works. So when you put your hashtag live or hashtag replay, you will get the feed also, so you could keep in the loop. So Janine,
Mm-hmm.
this has been great. We're gonna have to have you back again and again.
Sure.
But I want to keep on. I want to follow you on your journey. It's really impressive and inspiring. Uh, First of all, when I found out that you can become an enrolled agent, I said, "Oh, this is what I want to do. I want to empower people. I want to help people take control of their careers, their finances, their time." Uh, so wait, we have a question here. How much does an EA earn per client or engagement? Which is sort of like a tough question. Uh, I don't know if Janine wants to handle that, but I could tell you that it's a lot more than what a non-EA earns.
Yeah.
So when you get that enrolled agent designation, your price automatically goes up a lot.
True.
And what you could earn, and this could be a lesson for everybody, you're going to earn as much as you want to earn, as much as you believe you can earn. Okay, for a long time, I charged people $250 an hour because I was a CPA. And then I found out that there were a lot of other CPAs charging $250 that had nothing close to the experience that I had. So I said, well, if they're getting 250, I'm underpricing myself. So I said, I'm charging 400 an hour. Okay. That's my price. If somebody wants to hire me by the hour, I'm going to charge them $400 an hour. Because that's what I put. And honestly, that's not even enough. But that's a number that we could say, if I got to put a value on my, my services sometimes are invaluable. because we don't just we change people's lives. You know, enrolled agents, tax people, accountants are in a position to literally help change people's lives. If when you do an offer and compromise, when you save somebody $200,000 of money that they owed the IRS, and now all of a sudden they don't owe it, that's life changing. You can't put a value on that. I can't tell you. You know, I'm proud to say that I have a whole long list of people that I've helped. Uh, you know, and I know that they're grateful, but you know that's fine. No amount of money could replace the satisfaction that I have when I help somebody like that. That's what
Sure.
I'm in it for. But yeah, you want to know something? Janine is entitled to make a lot of money. Okay, whether she makes it or not is up to her. Okay, and it goes to the mindset. Okay, the truth is that the EA designation is it's a designation. It's out there for the public because now they're going to say, oh, she's an enrolled agent, she's worth more money. That designation doesn't necessarily make her worth more money. It's what she believes she's worth. Okay. The enrolled agent, for practical purposes, it gives you the ability to put a wall between you and the client. Okay. But what you're going to earn, and this goes for everybody, it goes down to how much do you value yourself? How much do you value your time? Would you like to add anything to that, Janine?
Well, I actually agree with everything that you say. So, but uh, maybe what I can add on is, of course, having the designation is a good one, but you need to know as well that you have to back it up with experience. Right now, I'm working on that experience because um, everything started. I'm a new enrolled agent, so I'm still on the foundation, like I'm on the halfway of doing things. So representation right now, I'm not doing it yet, but prepping individual and business tax returns, I do that. So if you ask if I'm doing a job of an EA, yes, I am. I'm work. I'm a work in progress. I think
We
everyone
all
else is in every industry when you start something. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I started 40 years ago and I'm still a work in progress. Like I said, I'm still learning stuff. Uh, so I had another question for you, but I totally forgot what it was. All right, I think we're good. Do you have any closing words of inspiration? That's what we need here for
Maybe
your
if you're
fellow Philippine country people.
okay. So for Filipinos who's really uh not specifically just for an EA. If there's something that you really want so badly, then you're gonna chase for it because you're the author of your life story. So of course, not everything is in your control, but there are things that you can take charge of. And your dreams is something that you need to work on. It's up to you if you're gonna chase it or just gonna dream about it.
Awesome. I love that. Are you going to do it or are you just going to dream about it? And all you got to do is take action. If you
Yeah.
have a desire, if you have a dream, don't spend time thinking about it. Oh, can I do this? Just do it. Just take the action. Oh, one other thing I want to leave people with because I think that they're going to have this question, but they didn't think to ask it. The process
Mm.
of applying. Do you first have to get a P10, don't you?
Ah, yes. So the process is it starts the cost starts when you first plan to become an EA, not when you want to review for an EA because before you need before reviewing for an EA, well, on my case for that review material. I need a PTIN because so PTIN is around 35 bucks. Let's say 36 bucks. That's $36. And then after that, you can choose what review materials you can use. There are people who use two review materials, one with books and one with online platform, and there are uh, others who offer both. It's up to you how what it works for you. You can put you have the option to get just one at a time, part one, two, and or three, or put it in, or invest in one bundle. It's up to you guys. So that for me, it costs around $600. So and then afterwards, you have to schedule your So you're finally decided you're taking the exam for the season. It runs, I think, except all over the year except February till April, just because it's the
It's tax season.
tax season. So there's people are in pressure. So there's a time for you to prepare yourself. Once you schedule that, so that's $203 per part of exam. So that's additional $610. Let's say it's 609 actually, $609, and then afterwards there's still a cost because you need to to pay $67 for the application for enrolled agent fee. That is when you will go through the suitability check. The suitability check, you have to wait for at least 60 days, but sometimes it's less than 60 days that you get approved that you are now officially an enrolled agent and you have that certificate. Yeah,
Right.
that's
But
the summarize of it.
there's a lot of hoops you got to jump through. But guess what? It doesn't matter if you're in the Philippines or the United States. It's still the same process. But
Yeah.
you can. So first, let me, because I don't know if I even mentioned this. Bedrock has an enrolled agent course. Okay, we
Mm,
put this together. It's going to start in May. I put a link if you want any information on it. I put a link in the chat. Okay. Uh, like I said, we already have 25 or 26 enrolled students. Uh,
mm,
there was when we put the word out there, we did a free webinar, and over 600 people signed up for the webinar. Over almost 300 people attended the live webinar. The webinar is out there. Uh, if you want to find it, you can contact me, contact my team. Honestly, I don't have a link to where it is. Uh, but what we have is we have a Google Classroom. Okay, we our course is very affordable. Okay, it's in line with one of whatever the other review courses are, but we do live training. There's a lot of benefits, and you can only find out if you go to the site where we have all of the details. But what I've learned is there's a ton of material out there, and on the IRS site included, for you to just see what the enrolled agent exam is like. You could take some practice tests, uh, practice questions. Uh, if you want any of those links, just reach out to me. You could go to Joe at Bedrock Business Builders. Just email me, and I'll send you the links to the free resources. Uh, so you could start out. You could test the waters. You could put your toes in the water and see what it feels like. Okay, and the cost. So the cost actually are don't have to kick in until you say, okay, I'm going to do this. And the P10, so the P10 isn't only to register for the test. Anybody that wants to prepare a tax return and get paid has to have a P10. Okay. So if you want to prepare your own client's tax returns and charge them, you need to have a P10. Okay. So, so you need the P10 when you register on Prometrics for you to see what the schedule is. That's how I understand the process is. So you don't have to spend any money. You could test the waters, decide if you want to do it. Uh, I encourage you to sign up for our course. You can find out all the details. Because if you're not happy with our course, I'll give you your money back. So there's no risk. There's absolutely no risk to try it. We only want people that want to succeed. So you could sign up if you figure, oh, this really isn't for me. And maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but that's the truth. So I just want to give everybody the opportunity, uh, basically, without having to say, okay, I'm all in, until you find out that you really want to be all in. So I think we covered a lot of stuff, Janine. I'm really really appreciate your time. You're
Yeah.
an inspiration, and I'd like you to stay on. I'm gonna end the live right now, but if you could stay on for a couple of minutes, I want to go through something with you. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everybody out there in accounting and tax world, that's our story. We're sticking with it. Joe DeChara signing off. God bless, and hope to see you all